Hello, how is everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday? It has been an absolutely interesting week. We had actually a lot of things happen. Um, I'm assuming that everybody has seen the great fall of Biden, and I don't mean his horrible president. And I just want everybody to know that even though we're not going to specifically cover that story because it's so mainstream, I did want to say, well, congratulations. If there's been one thing that Biden will be known for, even though they want to deny the entire thing and every single platform that they could possibly put it on, he is the best falling president. There's going to be memes of Joe Biden falling for the next 10 years, 20 years. If we even have memes after 20 years, I don't know. But Joe, good old Sleepy Joe, I can always count on him to make me laugh, you know? Anyways, so let's get all this out of the way. Even though apparently we can't say that the 2020 election was stolen on YouTube, they haven't banned me from my video yet. And we have proven time and time again that there were some things that should have been investigated, and Donald Trump's not a complete psychopath when it comes to it. But hey, maybe YouTube's lightening up a little bit. Then again, YouTube's probably not. They're just a big wet rag. But hello to all of you. I hope all of you guys having a great Sunday. YouTube, again, as always, this is in Minecraft. This isn't real. This is a figment of your imagination. Everything that I'm going to say, even though it will be produced by, most of it, by news articles that I do address to you, it is all fake. It's all a big, giant lie. Here's your glass of warm milk. I'm cupping your balls, patting you on the ass, sending you back to bed. It's just a nightmare. You'll wake up from it eventually. So, on to our very first story. I did want to really quickly put out there that I had a great Memorial Day. It was very relaxing. I got some messages on, how it was. And I typically am one of those guys that just kind of, I don't have a lot of people to call. So I do text and call, like maybe some of my brothers, my military friends, and that's about it. And I just slept, I watched a movie, an old movie, because there's no good new movies out. Read a little bit and, just had a good time. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing great, having a wonderful day. And let's get to our first story. Okay. So, as we progress deeper into the Biden conspiracy, I wonder what they're going to call this, because, we've talked about, Nixon until we're blue in the face, right? We made Watergate into this huge, massive debacle, okay? Last time I checked, Watergate wasn't responsible for 13 soldiers dying in a foreign country. Watergate wasn't responsible for $85 billion worth of, military hardware just being abandoned, or as I was given to the enemy as we pull out after a 20-plus year war, or insurgency, whatever the hell you guys want to think of it as, you on the lovely Biden panel. I don't remember Watergate having anything to do with, let's just say the Summer of Love, or all those people that died during the Summer of Love, or the division of the country, or people just hating each other for no reason. The LGBTQ plus wasn't even a thing then. I'm just saying, a lot of stuff has happened during the Biden administration, and we keep stacking these on like a Jenga, right? So, but in this case, it's like it's figured out a way to perfectly look absolutely horrible and unable to hold any weight, and yet it's still holding the top of the Jenga tower. Well, here's another one. This is from the National Interest. This was sent to me recently. And it's quite interesting. Meet the U.S.-funded force behind Lebanon's refugee crackdown. Now, I would like to say, okay, for all out there, that everything is subjective or objective or however the fuck you want to look at it. But when something's published in a document by a news source, I don't know, maybe we should listen to it a little bit. Anyways, the Biden administration's Lebanon policy ends up propping up the very order it claims to oppose. So this picture, June 2nd, 2023, topic, Lebanon, region, Middle East, blog brand, Lebanon Watch, tags, Lebanon, Lebanese armed forces, Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, refugees. By Natalie Ekenau. Last month, Lebanese authorities began a new campaign of harassment against Syrian refugees. And the Lebanese Armed Forces, the LAF, the recipient of billions of American taxpayer dollars, is putting muscle behind the policy. The LAF has conducted dozens of raids in recent weeks, arresting hundreds of Syrians and forcibly deporting many of them to Bashar al-Assad's Syria in violation of international law. Herein lies the irony. Now listen up, gentlemen and ladies. At the outset of the Biden administration, Secretary of State Antony Blinken pledged to put human rights at the center of the U.S. foreign policy. But in Lebanon, U.S. policy is predicated on a paradox. On the one hand, Washington's state policy is one of support for accountability, rule of law, and respect for human rights. On the other hand, the administration remains wedded to the misguided belief that Lebanese institutions like the LAF are a positive counterweight to Iran-backed Hezbollah, the country's dominant political and military force. In truth, however, the LAF answers to the Lebanese government, which at the moment is beholden to Hezbollah. So Washington ends up propping up the very order it claims to oppose. Imagine that. Yet again, the Biden administration is not only hypocrites, but they're liars. Lebanon is home to 805,000 registered Syrian refugees, but Lebanese officials estimate the actual number is upwards of 1.5 million. The United Nations stopped, that's double, guys. It's insane. The United Nations stopped registering new refugees in 2015 on the order of Lebanese government. Does that sound familiar? China? In a country with a native population of only 5 million, the presence of so many refugees is impossible to ignore. It's like 20% of the population. Jesus. 25%. 4 years ago, untrammeled corruption led to the implosion of the Lebanese financial sector, resulting in a historic economic collapse from which there has been no sustained recovery. 2/3 of the country now lives in poverty, and the refugee population continues to serve as a convenient scapegoat for political class unserious about genuine economic or political reform. Worse yet, Lebanese officials are now using the refugees as pawns in a political game with Damascus, which makes sense because that's usually what refugees are used for anyways. We do the same thing here. The latest chapter in the story began in late March when, on a visit to Lebanon, the European Union Commissioner for Crisis Management, Janice Lenarcic, announced 60 million, I don't know what this is that francs, million in humanitarian assistance for Lebanon. But Lenarcic said, I like Lenarcic better. And kind of sounds like arsenic. Larsenik said the European aid is not a sustainable long-term solution to Lebanese malaise. For those of you guys out there that are idiots, generally speaking, the people that don't ever read, malaise is kind of like, bleh. Like, I don't really care. I don't want to do anything. Yeah. I'm not giving you the definition. You wouldn't care anyways. For those of you out there that actually do read, you know what it means anyways. A financial crisis was not created by the Syrian refugees and is incumbent upon Lebanese officials to implement critical reforms. Now, let's just take a step back here and let's think about this for a second. So, if we go back up to the top here, the Biden administration, the Secretary of State Antony Blinken pledged to put human rights at the center of the U.S. foreign policy. But in Lebanon, because of the fact the U.S. policy is predicated on a paradox, all right, they have the same people that don't want the refugees in there are the same people that we're backing. And keep in mind, they're not telling us exactly what they do. Now, this picture up here, all right, isn't really showing us exactly how they're living, obviously, but I imagine this is kind of like a daily thing. They're dressed, they look clean. Okay, so we're going to give, Lebanon the benefit of the doubt and say they're treating them relatively well. But I doubt quite seriously that in a country of 5 million, that if there is 1.5 million Syrian refugees, that they don't have the housing for them. Imagine if America, in the span of 5 years got 25% more people. That would be what? Let's just make it an even number. Say we're 300 million. We're more like 340, but let's say 300 million. That would be what? 75 million people, right? So what if we just got 75 million people just put into our country in 5 years? Now, granted, we're much larger, but that would be a serious problem. We would not have the ability to deal with that many people. So, okay, so Lebanon's caretaker social affairs minister Hector Hajar begged to differ. Dear Lenarsik, Hajar tweeted, the Syrian displacement does not alone bear responsibility for the situation in Lebanon, but it bears a huge part. Hajar proceeded to unload on Lenarsik as a list of grievances against the refugees. And so Beirut started cracking down, deploying the U.S. subsidized LAF as an enforcer. Why is it whenever enforcer is entered into the mix of anything, it's never good? Yeah, I can't imagine why. The LAF intensified raids and began summarily deporting refugees without any legal process. One refugee told reporters the LAF raids entailed no search of the apartments, no questioning, nor any suggestion of wrongdoing. So basically, picture the Gestapo coming in. Instead of executing you, they're picking you up, putting you in a bus or a truck, shipping you back across the border to the country that you fled from. In late April, an LAF official disclosed the same 50 refugees were forcibly deported to an uncertain fate in Syria. Now, for those of you guys that don't understand why they're leaving the country, something's going on in Syria right now, and it happens a lot there. The government gets taken over by a new regime. Lots of people die. These people are probably fleeing to a country that's more stable. And that's saying a lot because they're going to Lebanon, which isn't exactly the most stable country in the world. But it's like people that leave North Korea to go to China. Same concept. According to deportee testimony, some of those expelled are held by Syrian Army's 4th Division, which is the U.S. Treasury sanctioned in 2020 for aiding in the large-scale displacement of Syrian civilians. The risks of remaining in Syria are prompting some to shell out hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for gangs to illegally smuggle them back into Lebanon. Okay. So the U.S. government says, here's $5 to take care of this problem. They take care of the problem and then use half of the $5 to smuggle them back inside to create the problem again. It's an instant flow of money. Now, the only question is, how much money is the Biden administration actually sending to Lebanon? Let's just say the U.S. government. Let's leave the Biden administration out of it. How much money is the U.S. government sending to Lebanon that's actually going there and not getting filtered back to America? We already know that they're getting money laundered by China. Why would they not be getting money laundered by Lebanon? It makes sense, especially if we create the problem. The same thing happened in Vietnam. We would take over a grid square. We'd lose, 10% casualty, 50% casualties, 5% dead, whatever. We would take the grid square, get all the Viet Cong out of the grid square, and then brass would call it on and say, okay, pull out. We'd wait 2 weeks. The Viet Cong would come back in, take the same damn grid square, and then we'd go right back in and kill the Viet Cong again and get rid of them and take the same freaking grid square. And it was just over and over and over again. Same concept, just different place, different time. So we're giving them millions of dollars to take care of a problem that's supposed to be part of our foreign policy, to ship them out. And then we're paying a different set of people to smuggle them back inside. Come on. This isn't hard to figure out. It's a cash grab. It's an instant, what's up, Joseph? Man, I'm so glad to see you, bro. I purposely did 1 o'clock to try to get you live today because I wanted to say hello and thanking you to be a part of my journey to 1,000. I really do appreciate it, bro. I'm almost there, man. I think I was 980, but welcome. No, but it's crazy. And okay, and this is what I was talking to some of my friends about whenever I read this article. Okay. We know they did it to China. What was it? Was it $17 million or $18 million that they got money laundered, clean as a whistle to come back to them? No one's been brought up on charges. I mean, what the hell, dude? Yeah. Okay, so we're down. It's I've been 978 and then 982 and then 980. I don't know, dude. Bots, whatever. Who cares? But the fact that I'm even close to 1,000 is just mind-boggling. I mean, I never thought I'd be above 200, let alone 1,000. So my question that I'm asking my friends, and I asked to my audience, Dread, you too. How many more of these things are happening? I mean, what the Inflation Reduction Act that doesn't reduce inflation? What was it? 1.4 billion. How much of that money is laundered to go back into the pockets of the exact same people that created it? I mean, why do you think they want the fucking bill so high? And we're trying to get another one made. We raised the debt ceiling again. All these people are fucking doing is patting their pockets. And we're about to do another story here in just a second. Okay. And it's almost the same fucking thing. Now, it might not be real. It might be real. Who fucking knows? Yeah. Look at this shit. Thank you, Dread. 1.3. So, okay. Of that 1.3 billion. All right, and to give you guys some numbers, okay? Let me explain this to you a little bit. Look, an Abrams tank is like what, $1 billion? It's something crazy like that. Okay, maybe not $1 billion, maybe 50 million. I can't remember. It's a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. So let's just say that an Abrams tank costs $500 or $50 million to make. All right, they're not building fucking tanks. Okay, a bullet is cheap. You can get when you make them in bulk, you can get a 5.56 223 or a 7.62 by 39. You can get them for about a dime a piece when you're making them in bulk. That's how much you buy them for. You can make them for like 2 cents a piece. Okay, they're cheap. So how much of that 1.4 billion, 1.3 billion is actually going into the pockets of Ukraine, Russia, China for the war? Why? How much is doing it? I mean, we already know we're trying to make that war go even further. Guys, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this, and I've had to remind people of this last couple of weeks. War means money. Literally. That's what war is. Okay, I'll check that out. I'm going to open that up. Abrams tank is 10 million? Okay, 10 million. Oh, yeah, the Abrams X. The Abrams, it's still not that much more, though, right? The Abrams, and the only difference was, I think, the couple of the plates or whatever. Every time they upgrade the Abrams, it's like just a little bit different, Here, let me get this link. You always send me good links. I trust you, brother. All right. There we go. Okay, we're gonna pop this up. This is from Dread, guys. All right. So if there's anything bad on here, ladies, don't get mad at me. Remember, our audience is like 65% women. So I was hoping Matt could come on today. I tried to be part of her show the other day, bro, and it went, as soon as I clicked it, it went to private, so I couldn't be on it. I couldn't watch it. Okay. Open the books. U.S. Senator Joni Ernst tracked over 1.3 billion of U.S. tax dollars. Jesus, promises accountability for every penny. Look at that. Isn't that something? More than $1.3 were sent to Russia and China over the last 5 years since 2017. So this was during Trump's. Okay. So I wonder if Trump knew about this. If he did, he never said anything, right? Damn. Organization in China over the past 5 years, and another 870 million were paid to titles to entities to Russia, holding firms responsible for. Dude, this is sick. Wow. For gender equality through exhibition in New York Magazine. That's 58.7 million. Wow, for gender equality. No. Okay, 96,000. Okay, still 100,000. That's crazy, man. Oh my God. So we're doing this shit. We're allowing this shit to happen. This is us. But they announced the new Abrams X. Yep. And the deep state runs deep. Got to drain that swamp, bro. Hey, you know what? I'm not surprised that the politicians are patting their pockets. All right. What I'm surprised about is that even with all of our technology, Dread, and other people that are watching right now, all of our technology, the 24-hour news cycle, the fact that we have information literally at our fingertips, people still don't believe it. There's still 36% of the people in the country that support the Biden administration. There's a video right now. I watched it, 4 days ago, One of the guys I watch, he goes out, he has a little skinny microphone, always reminds me of a cigarette, and he interviews people, right, over in California. Dude, they love Biden. They think Biden's the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread, dude. Like, he's the cat's fucking meow. And they're like, well, why do you like Biden so much? Oh, because he's done such a good job since he's been president. Can you name anything that he's done that's well? I'm not talking to you because you're anti-Biden. It's like, dude, just tell me one thing that he's done that's good, man. Just tell me one thing. Now, the fall, for instance, the one that he just had, the one that he's blaming on a sandbag. I mean, there are several news sources right now that are automatically coming out and saying it's not as bad as you think. And they're not even showing the full video clip. They'll just show them like getting picked up. They'll be, they're like, oh, well, their mainstream media, the Fox News is saying, it's like, dude, he's fallen over a dozen times. What's his name? Put a clip together. I put it on my community tab. It's like a minute and 12 seconds, 13 seconds of Biden just falling. But they got mad at Trump because they put this steep incline on him and he could barely walk down it because it was such a steep incline. And they were like, health questions raised for Donald Trump because he tentatively walked down a steep incline. Dude, Biden fell going up a fucking flight of stairs. What was it? 3 times, I think? Nope. His wife even came out and said that he is perfectly fine. And any question about him being even remotely, unable to be president is just ludicrous. Go fuck yourself. All right. Next story. All right. So this is the one I was telling you guys about. All right. Now, not New York, America. I'm just thinking of New York because of Donald Trump. All right. So the American government, and again, this is a news story. Okay. This is by CNN. Look, right here. Look. This may be the world's best warships, and they're not American. Okay. And apparently there is a rumor that we are going to start paying South Korea to build our warships. If you guys aren't aware, it's going to have to go over this a little bit more, but I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of reference. China does technically have the largest navy in the world. And, ship power and air power wins wars, guys. It's just the way that it is. And whoever has the biggest, fleet in both the land and the air always wins. It's almost never down to ground troops. You got to win air superiority and sea superiority to even get ground troops. So to make a difference. But the difference is China's ships aren't like ours. They might outnumber us now a little bit for the amount of ships they have, but every 3 of their ships is worth like 1 of ours. Okay, that's kind of how it is. They believe in the concept of overwhelming numbers versus quality. Now, every army does that. Okay, we try to get the cheapest contracts for the most stuff, but we build things a little bit better. Like, for instance, if Switzerland was the size of America, they'd rule the world because they build the best shit. They have the best equipment. That's just the way it's always been. So when you look at it from that perspective, yes, China does have a much larger force than us. I'll say much. It's not very larger, but it is larger. But our ships are better, and we have a much better military. All right? I mean, even though the LGBTQ thing is like the alphabet soup is all over our military, we can still beat the fuck out of any military on the face of the planet. One-on-one battle. All right. So Seoul, South Korea, CNN. It's a growing problem that has United States naval commanders scratching their heads. How to keep up with China's ever-expanding fleet of warships. Not only is China's navy already the world's largest, its numerical lead over the U.S. is getting wider, with the head of the U.S. Navy warning recently that American shipyards simply can't keep up. Now, one thing that they're fucking leaving out is the reason why they can't keep up is because of what they did during the lockdowns. Yes, I know, leftist bastards. I know that Donald Trump started the fucking lockdowns. So fucking what? What? So because Big Daddy Double D, the guy you guys hate, the guy whose election was apparently stolen, right, that you guys can't stand, because he started something, you decided to finish it? That's your fucking excuse? Yeah. When you fucking fire people and stick them at home and then take an entire upcoming labor force from the graduating class of high school students, yeah, we're going to be missing shit. We can't make a lot of stuff whenever no one's working, guys. It's just the way it is. They left that part out. I decided to add it, CNN. All right. Some experts estimate China can build 3 warships in the time it takes U.S. to build 1. I doubt that quite seriously, but it is probably more like a 1.5 ratio to 1. I wouldn't. They could probably build 2 in the time it takes us to make 1. I mean, to make a fucking warship, man, it ain't easy. Okay, I don't know how long it takes, but I can tell you right now, it ain't fucking easy. Not to mention, you got to find the fucking metal, which means you got to have an entire population of people digging, turning ore into ingots, turning ingots into panels. I mean, dude, it ain't easy. It's just one of the concerns alongside Beijing's increasing aggression in the South China Sea around Taiwan. And oh shit, it's likely to be weighing on the mind of U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin as he joins top military figures from across the region at this weekend's Shangri-La dialogue in Singapore. Shangri-La. The chance of a breakthrough on any of these issues this weekend appears slim. Excuse me. Not least because China has pointedly rejected a U.S. proposal for Austin to meet his Chinese counterpart, Lang Shafu, at the forum. But experts who spoke to CNN before the summit say a potential solution to one of them, the Chinese fleet's numerical advantage, is within reach if the U.S. is prepared to think outside the box. Here it comes, guys. Washington, they say. Oh, let me check chat. Hang on. Let me check chat. All right. Switzerland has mandatory military. Yeah, they have 2 years, right? 2 years. So does Israel. You're absolutely correct. Fauci and Deborah Bricks, I blame them for giving Trump bad advice. You know, I've mentioned that to people, bro. I've said that, and they get mad at me. And I'm like, dude, he didn't know Fauci was a piece of shit. You think that fucking Donald Trump was sitting in his office getting blown by fucking gorgeous women from all over the world, sitting there wondered, I wonder who ran the AIDS virus. He didn't know anything about Fauci. All right. And Fauci will never see inside the fucking prison, let alone a jail cell. So, yeah. China is harvesting metals from World War II wrecks, HGP. Yeah. And they're also getting I read that they're also getting our soil. Yeah. Shipping over and on the barges and shit. Yeah, they're doing shit, bro. China, granted, China's going to fall, and it's going to fall hard, but it's going to take about another 10 years. All right. Washington, they say, has something Beijing doesn't. Allies in South Korea, which is true. CNN is reporting that correctly. And Japan, who are building some of the highest spec and affordable naval hardware. You can't have highest spec and affordable, guys, but it can be the most affordable high spec, okay? Naval hardware on the oceans. Remember, they go for bulk, cheap. So the most they can get for the cheapest amount of money. Buying ships from these countries or even building U.S.-designed vessels in their shipyards could be a cost-effective way of closing the gap with China, they say. Dude. All right, Jed, let me ask you this, man. Okay. What would happen, bear with me, if we just said, Trump comes in, right, wins 2024, and he says, look, I'm opening up all these shipyards and I'm creating all these jobs. I need welders, steel workers, engineers, people that have built ships, shipbuilders. I need all these people. I want to create 1 million jobs. Dude, if we got 1 million people building fucking ships on our coastlines, in 5 years, we would be the world's most dominating naval force on the fucking planet by like 5 times over. So why don't we do it? We're gonna no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to Japan and South fucking Korea and have them build our fucking ships. Dude, what the fuck? Their warships are certainly a match for their Chinese counterparts. Shit, says Blake Herzinger, a research fellow at the United States Study Center in Australia. So the USSC in Australia. While Japanese warship designers are among the world's best, says Carl Schuster, a former director of operations at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center in Hawaii. Both countries have mutual defense treaties with the U.S. So why doesn't the U.S. team up with them to outbuild China? The problem is U.S. law currently prevents its Navy from buying foreign-built ships, even from allies, or from building its own ships in foreign countries due to both security concerns and a desire to protect America's shipbuilding industry. I agree with that 100%. We do not want to give our secrets over to a foreign country. Hence why you don't leave $85 fucking billion worth of our top military hardware in a country that we've been sworn enemies against, that literally have what is the word? The word that they have for religious war. I can't remember what it is, but they say it all the time. That has had a religious war against us for the last 25, 30 years. You know, bomb the turn, you know, the buildings. You know. Anyways. Schuster, Herzinger, and others among the growing body of experts who say it may be time to rethink the law to give U.S. an edge for battle for the seas. All right. I don't give a shit about you guys. All right. Now, look. Okay. Military industrial complex wants to get, they want to get paid. Yeah, I know. But they would just do the same concept. That's where I was taking this whole thing. They would do the exact same thing. Jihad, yeah. Oh, damn it, in Minecraft. Yeah. Sorry. Well, if I get flagged, I get flagged. Sorry. I didn't realize that. I didn't even think. Why would they ban that word? It's literally a word in Farsi. It means a religious war. Man, if they flagged me for that shit, dude. Wow. What, should we call it Mihad? I tried to Mihad on you. You killed my goats. They were fields of fire. I had to watch my goats burn. I cast a Mihad on you. It's like a level 7 spell in freaking what is it? D&D, right? I cast Mihad. It's a multiple spell. I need ingredients. Goat's dung and semen from little boy. Anyways. All right. Yes, I agree with you 100%, dude. It's all about money, man. If they send how much the warship cost to build? It's got to be up there, man. Let's say $500 million, to pay for the metal and the engineering, whatever. Who gives a shit? So I send Korea $500 million. They only spend, $450 million. We split the difference. This ain't hard, guys. The best way to get paid for a problem is to create the problem in the first place and then already have a solution to the problem that benefits you after. That's American bullshit 101 these days. Anyways. All right, so we got a big one here. This one's going to cause some issues, maybe as much as Mihad. Yeah. So I'm going to read an article from, and this is an old story. I think I've talked about this a few times. We never actually ran the story, but we're going to read an article from Gateway Pundit because I know all this is factual because I was actually reading this way back in the day when this happened. It was this was I think 2021. All right. This is okay to give you guys some background. All right. So this guy right here is a father of a 15-year-old girl that was raped in the bathroom by a 50-year-old boy that she was dating before. They had broken up. He originally identified as trans, okay, then came out as a crossdresser and just wanted to be known as a boy in a skirt or non-binary or whatever. So he raped her in the girls' bathroom in the high school that she went to in Loudoun County. They covered it up. And the father heard about it the day of and let the school handle the police issue. After 2 weeks of not receiving a phone call from the police department, he calls in and says, "Hey, what's going on? My daughter was raped and you guys haven't done anything." "Well, we're handling it internally. There is an investigation." So the picture that you see here that they always show to try to embarrass this guy is him at the student council, or was it the student council or teachers council meeting? I forget. Loudoun County School Board meeting. At the school board meeting, after he was accosted, made fun of, and his daughter was called a bitch and a whore by one of the LGBTQ plus representatives in the courtroom. Now, I have a video that we're going to watch after we read this article, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is that they're saying that this father did. All right. Gerald R. Ford cost, 37 bill. Damn. So that's an aircraft carrier, Loudoun County, Virginia, mostly liberal white. Yeah. It's mostly soccer moms and Karens. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was also, other than Denton, which is right next to me, that was one of the places that actually had gender queer allowed to be in it. Remember that. Okay. These are great places, man. Let me tell you. Okay. So judge upholds disorderly conduct charges for rape victim's father for calling a taunting leftist activist bitch that incites her to violence. Now, originally, they didn't put it in there either. I can't tell because I watched it a few times earlier, but originally it was reported by the right side of the media that the activist actually called his daughter a bitch and a whore, which is what made him angry. Okay. Now, in a ruling that sparked a heated debate over First Amendment rights, a judge in Loudoun County rejected a motion to dismiss disorderly conduct charges against Scott Smith, the father who confronted the school superintendent about handling his daughter's rape case. Smith's daughter had been sexually assaulted by a gender-fluid boy. See? Gender-fluid. But he went by trans before. Okay, he was a freaking lady boy before. Gender fluid. That's good. Like transmission. Gender fluid boy in a girl's bathroom, which the superintendent allegedly concealed. Because there's a funny part about this, guys, that I didn't tell you. And if they cover it in here, then I don't have to reveal it. But I'm going to tell you anyways if they don't. Scott Smith was arrested for obstruction of justice and disorderly behavior in June 2021. Judge Hal Brown ruled that he had enough evidence to prosecute him for disorderly conduct by saying the word bitch. Last time I checked, bitch was on a list of words that you can't say. I mean, I could be wrong. To the leftist activist who was reportedly taunting him over the rape of his daughter. Freeze-dried beef company unabashedly embraces an American first worldview. Smith was denied his right to a jury because the charge was a misdemeanor. However, with the assistance of Republican State Senator Bill Stanley as his attorney, he appealed the conviction and successfully dropped the obstruction charges last year. The prosecution, led by Eric Olson, fought to uphold the disorderly behavior charges for whatever fucking reason, leading to the recent ruling by Judge Brown. Judge Hal Brown set a trial date for September 25th, signaling that a jury will ultimately determine Smith's fate. WUSA9 reported. Defense attorney William Stanley, a Republican Virginia senator, argued that there is not enough evidence to indicate his client riled up the crowds, which intensified as soon as the school board ended the meeting. Stanley argued Smith reacted to a woman who aggressively approached him and threatened to ruin his business. Court transcripts from a previous hearing said Scott Smith had his fist clenched by his leg, leaned forward, and called her an expletive, bitch. A threat of potential battery is not a crime, Stanley said on the court hearing Thursday. He didn't threaten her in any way. Judge James Brown agreed with Commonwealth Attorney Eric Olson, who argued that the case should go to jury trial. Brown said he believes the facts are sufficient enough to let it go to the finder of the fact. The judge also believes Smith's behavior that night could incite violence. I'll keep fighting this and I will win, but in the meantime, it's more pain on me and my family, Smith told WUSA9. If we can't stand up and defend our families with our hands at our side and use our loud voice to call someone a name, what has this country come to? Scott Smith is also blasting Youngkin, saying he has never heard from the governor since the case reached national attention. Now, okay, something they did not put in the article, and I'll add this now, is when the school, because the reason why the father was even more upset was because of the way the school treated the case, they did not press charges against the boy. He never saw inside of a jail cell for raping his daughter. Now, just remember, you are a father. Your daughter is raped at a school because the school allowed a biological man to go inside of a girl's bathroom and he raped her. Not only did you allow it to happen, but you also covered it up. And instead of reporting him and sending him to jail, you sent him to a different fucking school. That's all they did. So guess what happened at the different school, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, that's right. He raped another girl in another bathroom. 2 women were affected by this horrible choice of the school district. None of the people in the school district have been brought up on charges. None of the people involved in this case have seen any time in jail, but they're doing everything they can to go after this dad, because if he wins, it's another situation of an American standing up for his rights. Okay, let's just say he was standing there with his fist. I'm going to show the video in a second. Let's say he's standing there with his fist down by his side, and let's say he calls her a fucking cunt. He didn't even use that. He said, bitch. So fucking what? This is why. You have the right in the United States of America under the First Amendment, regardless of the situation, regardless of what it may do, to say whatever word you want in any series of words, as long as it does not incite a riot, and it's not like bomb on an airplane or screaming something like fire in the streets or something to get someone killed. You can't do this. Him saying bitch in a courtroom to someone who just threatened him to destroy his life because his daughter was raped by an LGBTQ plus member, because you guys are just trying to save your own asses and cover it up, is not inciting a riot. And it's not inciting violence. Dude, what's up, Becca? Oh my God, I missed you so much. I'm so glad you're here. I got your message the other day. Thank you. All right. Yeah. It was really cool. And I'm sorry you missed last week too. I know I did it at 3, but I try to get here at 1, guys, but my Sundays are so busy when I get up in the morning. It's the only day of the week I've got that I can actually take care of my business. So, but I know I got some of you guys over the pond. I know you guys like to watch me. So I do try to go live for you guys. I really do. And if I can, I'm going to start doing it even earlier. So I might just change Sundays altogether. But welcome, Becca, as always. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the video of him in the courtroom. And I'm going to let you guys tell me, okay? You guys tell me, 1, I want to know if you think that he incited violence. 2, I want you to know if he ever should have been arrested. 3, I want you to tell me if this man did anything that should ever have been brought to court or arrested in the first place. Check this out. Make sure we get the volume all the way up. Here we go.
God says men and women are united in love. Not men and men or women and women.
Okay, now
I also think that transgender.
This police officer right here just put his hands on this guy's shoulder. He, Mr. Smith, has touched no one.
Is wrong too. You are who you are. You cannot change that.
The police officer then basically says, okay, that's enough. I'm taking you out of here. Mr. Smith, you need to come with me. Look, he's got his arm. He's pulling his fucking arm. He was looking forward. This guy came from the side. The crowd is clapping because he's about to get arrested for doing absolutely nothing against the law.
Jesus, she's trying to disrupt things, guys. She's trying to disrupt things. She's using that over there. Let's continue on.
What happened?
Imagine being there and being that guy, the guy watching, and you just watch this happen. That right there is what the left wants. You speak up against defending your family. You even dare to defend yourself. You even dare to try to stop someone from hurting you or hurting your family. And they can do whatever they want to you, whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it. That's why they don't want us to have guns. That's why they don't want us to be able to defend ourselves. Yeah, me too. I sleep till I usually, because that's why I'm always so late on Sundays, because it's the only day I don't get up at 4:30. I usually sleep till 8. It's the only day of the week I allow myself to get those extra hours of sleep. And I love my Sunday mornings, dude. When my alarm doesn't go off, there's always like this moment in my brain where I'm like, oh, it's Sunday. Dude, I love it. It's one of my favorite moments. But so that right there is what they're trying to bring him up on charges. I want to know why those cops aren't brought up on charges. He was bleeding when that was done. He was physically assaulted by a police officer twice before he did anything that could be even considered to be reckless endangerment or assault and battery on a police officer, inciting violence. He was assaulted twice by a cop for no reason. All he was doing was sitting there screaming at a lady. Who gives a shit? Karens scream at people all the time in fucking cell phone stores. We let these chicks walk around and throw fucking blood on people in riots and fucking scream and yell and get mad at someone for putting too much fucking ketchup on their fucking burger. This guy says bitch to a woman who just threatened his entire business because his daughter was gripped by a boy in the female bathroom of school, and they covered it up. And then you guys didn't see the trial. They basically told him he didn't belong there, and there's no reason for him to be there, and that he has no place in that room. Yeah, he puts this here. I'll show you. Watch the shoulder right here. There it is. He just touched him right there. See? Boom. That's the first one. And then look, he pulls him. Watch. He pulls him. So twice. Okay? The first one can be considered, whenever you put your hands on someone without permission, that's considered assault. Okay? Then aggressive assault is when the cop pulls him. So twice this guy gets done wrong by the police officer for no reason. Dude, he's leaning over. Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking pissed too. My daughter was raped in a bathroom by a dude, and you guys covered it up. And then allowed another girl to get raped in another school district because you guys didn't want to get caught. And no one has seen the inside of a courtroom except for the dad. None of the people on the school board. None of the people at the school. Just this guy. It's messed up, dude. And Tifa, yeah, and shit bombs on people. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, and they arrest this guy. Dude, sock in a lock. Or excuse me, lock in a sock. How many times have I talked about that guy? That guy has literally put, it's either 7 or 9 people in the fucking hospital. He almost killed one of the guys. Lock in a sock. No one's ever gone after that dude. He's on video at least 3 times that I've seen. And they're trying to credit him with 7 people to 9 people. They brag about it, that he's assaulted. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and these feminists and the LGBTQ plus community can go through and burn down buildings and throw shit and piss bombs at people and freaking get away with literal murder and assault and battery and destruction of property. This guy doesn't do anything, and it's on camera. And he's assaulted by the police officers and arrested and embarrassed. And then for the rest of his life, this picture right here, the first one I showed you. Here, let me close this out. This picture will be what they remember him as. See that cop right there? This cop right here touched him first. Someone was on the other side of that entire thing from the opposite angle, just ready to take a picture. This is all great for them. Don't you dare protect your family. don't you dare stand up for what you believe in. Because if you do, we're going to drag you through the mud. We're going to make you look like a piece of shit in front of the entire world and embarrass the fuck out of you. 4 police officers. You only see 3 right here. There's 4 involved. Take down one guy defending his daughter. You know, it's one thing, man, like to go too far in a situation. Okay, like if he would have slapped the woman, I'd be like, yeah, there's no reason to slap the woman. He should be arrested for assault. I got you. I mean, what if he just spit on her? That's assault too. All right. But women spit on men all the time. Women slap men in public. Women key men's cars because they break up with them or they cheat on them. And look, I'm not saying a dude cheating on a chick's okay, but cheating on a woman is not a physical assault. It's like the guys that want to put people to death that are rapists. I disagree with that. All right, I don't think that you should kill someone for doing something that didn't have anything to do with murder. Now, I think chemical castration is a great idea for rapists, especially serial rapists. If you get caught 2 times, you've been caught, serve your time and get out, and then you get caught again for raping, chemical castration, baby. Yeah, no shit. Sorry. But they want to throw the book at this guy and put him through the ringer because he was protecting his daughter for getting raped. And where's the kid that raped her? Has he seen any prison time? I don't know. I haven't looked that up. But I think that would be kind of funny. You know? Wouldn't that be totally fucked up in every single way if that dude was just walking around? Because it's a dude. There's only 2 sexes. There's chicks and dudes. You're born with a dick or you're born with a vagina. And the intersex people that are like 0.003% of the population, yes, they're called she-males or hermaphrodites or whatever. That's it, guys. You only get 2. Okay? Sorry. I know. I mean, look, okay, it's funny because when you go to Taiwan, Thailand, or any of those Asian countries that are like heavy in the ladyboy population, they don't call themselves women. And they've been doing it for like 4 decades. Okay? There were ladyboys back in like the 80s, man. Okay? Like for real. So you ain't just bringing up something new. I love that shit. That's fucking great. You know? What the fuck? And I like how like they keep making up shit that's offensive, you know? Like trainee's an offensive term. It's like, dude, you can literally go look it up right now. There's like 80 documentaries called trainee this, trainee that. You didn't get pissed off about that forever. Or ladyboys an offensive term? No, it's not. There's multiple countries that call them ladyboys or they call them gays. I'm a gay or something like that. I forget what it is, but it's very weird because okay, for instance, over the Philippines where we're sitting there having dinner and the waitress comes up and we're all sitting there kind of talking, doing our business thing. And one of the guys looks down and he goes, "Oh my God, is that what you were talking about?" Because he turns to his buddy. He's like, "Is that what you're talking about? Is that a ladyboy?" And I pull her to the side. The waitress go, "Hey, is that woman down there? Tall, skinny?" I mean, sometimes you can't tell, guys. Seriously. Right? They like have their Adam's apple shaved. Some of them don't even need to have the Adam's apple shaved. And I'm like, "Hey, is that a ladyboy?" She goes, "Yes, they're always down there." And the guys are like, "Whoa," because dude, you couldn't tell. Well, it's not from that far, anyways. It was about 100 yards away. Thailand, some of those ladyboys from pack and attack single guys. Yeah. Oh, dude, no shit. I didn't know that. Why? I mean, like a honeypot situation, or just like they just form packs and just attack them. I mean, they do some pretty crazy shit in Thailand, man. Thailand ain't no joke, dude. Like Pattaya Beach in Thailand, it ain't no joke. All right, so here's our last story, guys. I thought this was rather comical. Bible removed from some Davis School District libraries due to vulgarity or violence. Now we're gonna watch this little clip here, okay? And then
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Chapman.
And I'm Bob Evans. The King James Version of the Bible has been removed from multiple Davis District schools. This after a committee found it contained both vulgarity and violence.
The Bible's 3,000 years old, right? Or is it 2,000 years old?
13 News reporter Chris Arnold spoke with a Utah lawmaker tonight who sponsored a bill just last year prohibiting certain sensitive instructional materials inside public schools.
The committee is going to be reading for a long time to read the Bible. They get to read it cover to cover.
This is Michelle Edgley, the president of the Utah Educational Library Media Association, speaking with Fox 13 News back in March.
I don't think that most parents have either the right or the knowledge of the student bodies to be banning books for the entire school.
On Thursday, the Davis School District says a district review committee reviewed the King James Version of the Bible in its entirety. While they determined it didn't contain sensitive material as defined by Utah code, they still pulled it from elementary and junior high school library shelves. Back in March, a Utah parent petitioned to have it removed, saying the religious text is pornographic.
We're grateful that the Sensitive Material Review Committee is taking their job seriously.
Utah State Representative Ken Ivory sponsored a bill that passed the legislature last year prohibiting sensitive materials in schools.
When many groups characterize this as banning books, that really is an attempt to simply, hyperbolize what's going on. We're simply clarifying age-appropriate limits.
With that law in place, if a parent makes a formal request, schools have to remove any books that contain human genitals in a state of sexual stimulation or arousal, acts of human masturbation.
I want you guys to remember this part right here.
Or sexual intercourse.
Their determination to limit the age appropriateness of the Bible should set a standard.
A district spokesperson says the Bible is not taught as part of the curriculum. They estimate 7 to 8 elementary schools and junior high schools in the district had the Bible on library shelves.
The Bible has always been best studied around the fireplace by the families, where parents can give context to the warnings and the teachings that are in the Bible.
The decision has been appealed by an individual, the district says, who would like this version of the Bible retained at all levels. It will now go to an appeals committee consisting of 3 members of the Davis School District Board of Education. In Farmington, Chris Arnold.
Well, all right. So now I'm curious though, and this is what struck my curiosity about this. So if I were to go to that library, how much do you want to bet there's a copy of the Satanic Bible or genderqueer? The King James Version of the Bible has been removed from many Davis School District schools after a committee found it contained vulgarity and violence. A district review committee recently decided to pull the Bible from all schools other than the high school level, according to a district spokesperson. The committee actually determined the book does not contain sensitive material as defined by Utah code, but still pulled it from certain schools because of the age appropriateness. Back in March, Fox 13 new content sharing partners at the Salt Lake Tribune obtained a parents' petition who wrote, Utah Parents United left off one of the most sex-ridden books around, the Bible. You'll no doubt find the Bible has no serious values for minors because it's pornographic by our new definition. According to a district spokesperson, the committee actually determined the book does not contain sensitive material as defined by the Utah code, but still pulled it from certain schools because of age appropriateness. After the review, the Bible was pulled from the estimated 7-8 elementary and junior high schools that had the book on library shelves. The committee's decision has already been appealed by someone who wants to see the Bible returned to all schools. An appeals committee will now rule on whether the book will be returned to all libraries. So, and I understand, I do understand what they're trying to say as far as it could be too much for a child to read. Okay, fine, cool, all right. If there was a Quran in the school district, would they remove it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or the Book of Mormon, whatever, that's fine. Stephen King's has an underage orgy scene in the novel. Yeah, in It. And it was very disturbing. Very fucking disturbing. Stephen King, and I had read a lot of Stephen King's books. Thank you for bringing that up. I've probably read over 100 books by Stephen King. But I didn't read It until probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And it was one of the last books I ever read by Stephen King. But when I got to that part in the book Okay, and for you guys that don't know, they're underage and the only female in a group of 7. Okay, the losers. That's what they're called, by the way, for those of you guys who are like, oh, he said they were losers. They're called the Losers Club. Okay. She bonds all of them by having each one of the underage boys insert their penis into her. It's a real thing. And I always thought after I read that, I'm like, oh, wow, that actually made it to the shelves. No one said anything. They just let it happen. And I mean, dude, Stephen King is a pretty messed up writer. And of course, we let writers slide with a lot of stuff because it's all imagination. But damn, Mr. King, that's some crazy shit, bro. But anyways, but no, I'm sure the Hardy Boys books that have violence in it, all the books that have those violent tendencies and sexual nature, the Satanic Bible, the Quran, who literally says you can kill infidels, probably won't give a shit about that. No, they want to separate the mother, the father. They want to separate and break up the families. They want to take religion out of schools. They want to take religion out of government. They want to take religion out of sports for a reason. Now, look, you're not religious. Cool. It says nowhere in my religion and in my beliefs that I have to force you to be religious. I don't, and I never will. You will choose whatever it is you got to do to make your life happy. More power to you. Seriously. I really do. I hope everyone has, whatever it is they need by the end of this world. Okay. End of your life. I don't care. You do your thing. But do try to keep in mind that when you stop giving access to people to become religious, you're therefore limiting the options people have. So in a way, you're forcing your belief system onto them. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. I got to go. I got to get some grill time going. I get to cook on the grill today. I'm so happy. I'm making a steak, 4 breasts of chicken, fish. So it's going to be a good day on the grill. But look, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate you being here. Joseph Dredd, Rebecca, thank you for staying. Looks like we didn't have a lot of people come in today. It's okay. And every single Sunday is going to be 40 people watching this, right? But anyway, virtual. Oh, yeah, dude. Of course, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are always awesome. Final thoughts. I know it's rough out there. I know that when seeing stuff like this, especially thinking about having kids and having a daughter, look, a man's responsibility is not just to provide for his family. A man's responsibility is to protect his family. I've said this before. A lot of the times when I'm talking to people that I teach or talking to people that I instruct, look, back in the day at the cavemen, the chick wasn't back in the back whenever saber-toothed tiger was attacking, doing her fucking nails. Okay? She had a spear and she was right in front of the kids while the husband and the oldest son were attacking that fucking saber-toothed tiger. So remember that shit. Okay? Like, our job is to protect our children as parents. Our job as a man is to protect the wife and children. Job of a mother is to protect her children. Provide for that family in the way that mother does. Father, same thing. So don't be afraid to defend your family. These psychopaths, these leftists, look, they're going to get what is coming to them in the end. Karma always circles back around. The world is a giant circle. It's going to happen. They can't keep being evil and get away with it. Somewhere along the lines, someone is going to step up in the judicial system and make this stuff right. All right, guys. God bless. You guys take care. And remember, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? I'll see you guys later. Bye.